Hey friends, may the 4th be with you. I hope you're all having a super happy Star Wars day. I'm excited to be bringing you a build tutorial today of our Lego X-Wing. This was done as part of our Lego Masters build challenge, but I thought it turned out really well considering how quickly we built it. And I thought it'd be fun to be able to show you guys how you could bring this awesome build to life as well. So let's swoosh on in and check out this super awesome build. Alrighty, before we get started with this build, I do want to remind you guys, I of course live stream on Twitch 4 times a week. That's where awesome builds like this come to life. So make sure you come on by, tune in, and join in on all the fun that happens over there. A lot of these builds are inspired by you guys, so it's really great to just get more new friends making suggestions and all that fun stuff. So make sure you tune on in. But let's go ahead and get started with this build here. Perfect that we can get a nice closer look at our X-Wing. And yeah, this guy was built as part of our Lego Masters build challenge. I honestly spent a lot of time trying to make it more complicated than it needed to be. And I'm really glad I ended up keeping it simple because I think it lends itself really well to just a fun and simple build that I think most people will have the pieces on hand to kind of work with. There are a couple new ones in there we'll talk about. But for now, let's just get started by tearing this thing down, laying it out in all the pieces that we're going to need to build it and get this thing started. Alrighty folks, looks like we've got all 110 pieces of our X-Wing model laid out and ready to go, and we're just gonna get started with building. So we're gonna start with the very bottom of the build, which uses some 1x4 snot bricks. They've got a bunch of studs on the side for us. If I remember correctly, we're gonna do something like this. We're actually gonna slide these all the way to the bottom, but later when we're working on the build, we're actually gonna slide these up. The nice thing about tiles is that they can actually be kind of positioned anywhere they like because there's no sort of anything in the middle on the bottom to interfere with its positioning. So you can always slide them along a stud to kind of get them right up against whatever part of the build you might want to. Next up, we've got like the module for the back of the cockpit. So we're using one of the new 1x3 jumpers. This allows to have us a little bit of a gray area over top the sides here. Of course, you're just using some gray cheese slopes to build out the back of the cockpit here. Thought it was fun to give it a little bit of shaping. And that's gonna go on, I think, the end of the 2x4 plate. Next up, we've got the little module where R2-D2 goes, as well as some of the attachment points for the wings. I had actually had to adjust these from where they were on the original build because the wings weren't closing properly in their S-foil position, I think it's called, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, they do still fold out nicely into their attack position. So we wanted to make sure we captured a little bit of both of that. Yep, that's correct. That goes right there like that. And then we've got kind of like I think the engine cooling area per se. I'm not exactly sure what you would call this, but we basically got some little studs here to create a little bit of detailing. And a 1x2 plate goes here. Then we're gonna cover this all up with some jumpers and a grill just to give it some nice detailing. Again, you gotta remember that when I did this build initially, I had no reference for it. So I was literally just working off of whatever I was kind of just able to see. And actually, you know what? I do shift this. So I did make a little booby there. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. And then that kind of just hangs off the back. That kind of builds out the back module of our build there. Next up, we'll do kind of the nose cone. So I'm actually gonna start with the red 1x6 plate and just kind of work off of that. So we got the 2x4 plate here. Then we've got the cockpit and the gray piece here. This hangs over one of these. And then it's actually gonna hang over there. So that's why I knew that offset was incorrect. Go to 2x4 tile to kind of round it out. We've got a 2x3 and a 2x2 plate. Gonna go underneath towards the front. And then, so that's looking good. We'll connect that together. And then we can throw the snot brick underneath. And this is where we actually are gonna slide up the tiles to match the bottom of these. Regular plates would not quite fit there correctly. There would be a small or awkward gap or it would potentially interfere, so tiles work a little nicer when they slide into place, which is great. And then let's do the back of the building. Okay, so we're gonna grab these guys here. We're gonna do a little bit of a grill here. And then this is actually where I made the adjustment for the wings, so they would sit a little bit lower and close properly into their S-foil position. And just like that there, boom. And we got the 2 attachment points, nice rounding on the back here. That's looking pretty clean and solid. Let's do up the front nose cone. I want to know, I used a bunch of 1x2 plates instead of 2x2 plates. Just happened to not have any on hand, so you can always just kind of work with whatever you got. And make substitutes is reasonable if you happen to just not have the right pieces, you know? It's very rare you're always going to have every single piece you need for a build. So just work with what you got. That's all you can really do. All you can really do. Alright, so connect those two like that. And a 1x2 plate there. And then this 2x2 curved slope is going to nicely seal that all in. And that's going to be building out the nose of our X-Wing, looking real good. Next up is to build some of the wings. So the wings are all technically unique designs, but they just kind of mirror each other in different ways. And the red patterning and stuff is totally random, so don't take my word for how this is supposed to look, kind of. I just made it work with what I had on hand and just kind of based on my memory. Let's start with, I think this is going to be the top right wing. So we're going to start just like... I remember the pattern. Yeah, just like this. Perfect. And then we've got the file going like that, though that's not making sense. No, but it does. Or no. Man, why can't I remember how this goes? I know these two go side by side. And then some of the pieces here are supposed to... Oh, you know what? I had this backwards. This goes like this. There we go. See, even me, sometimes I forget what I'm doing. I'm all over the place. You know, Lego building isn't an art by any means. So the corner tile here is actually what connects the two layers together, and then we've got a tile beside that. Then we grab the cheese slope here. Actually, let me finish the detailing on this. Got a round 1x1 brick to kind of make it look like this is all part of the one wing. And then we're gonna put a little lightsaber, how fitting, on the end to be the little blaster on the end of it there. We've got one of the newer 1x1 brackets, the underside ones. And then we've actually got this super cool new dome piece. Favorite new pieces that really allows us to give a little bit of that round shaping to it. And then we've just got a round 1x1 tile. I know it's actually technically a half thing for the engine, but I think this looks really nice. Sometimes it's okay to kind of not be perfect in the details or you know, matching the model exactly, just for the sake of it, you know, just being visually appealing to you. So, and I don't really think any other piece would look nearly as good. So I really like the way that looks. Then we've got two round 1x1s with hole that are going onto this new modified 1x1 round plate with bar, and that goes on top of that there to kind of flesh out the back of the engine there. And then we're just gonna rest that there, and we're just gonna keep kind of doing this over and over again. So let's just keep it going with these very fun wing designs. And again, guys, don't forget I do have a digital model available, and I just always encourage you guys, don't forget to just try and make it work with what you got. You know, you may not have every single piece here, but that doesn't mean you can't get close or come up with an awesome equivalent, or heck, just do it in different colors, whatever kind of works for you, right? It's not about being perfect, it's just about having fun with it. And that's what Lego building is all about, isn't it? It's all about having fun. It's not about being perfect. So, as long as you're having fun, you're doing the right stuff. Looks like we're getting a little bit quicker with bringing these wings together. These wings, of course, building out the beautiful shape of the X-Wing, the iconic shape that we all know and love. All right, I like grabbing these two again. And you know what, this time around, we're gonna get a little crazy, and we're gonna do it mirrored. We're gonna build it while doing both halves at the same time. Let's see if we can not mess this up. So we're gonna grab the round bricks. There. Attach there. Boom. And then we're gonna do the lightsabers on the end again. Good. And sometimes I find this actually a fun way to kind of skip ahead in the steps on a Lego model. Because oftentimes you'll build something and then you'll have to do the exact same thing but mirrored. And I kind of like the challenge of doing it at the same time and seeing if I can do it correctly without messing up. So if you're looking to ever mix in a little bit more of a challenge with your Lego sets, this can be a fun and silly way to do it. Bracket, flip, flip. Got some domes here. And these are a much newer piece, so don't be surprised if you don't have these in your collection. I even think just a 1x1 plate and 1x1 tile would still look pretty good. You could do maybe a stud on top. There's a lot of different options. Maybe a cheese slope would look good as well. So don't be afraid, again, to just change things up and make it work with what you got. Because that's a very new piece, and admittedly, I think I was lucky to even have them. We're doing the little engine things again. The 1x1 plates and then 1x1 rounds. And it goes on the back there. And then we're just gonna attach all the wings. So these go on the bottom. So 1, 2, 2. And we're gonna do 3 and 4. And boom, that is our X-Wing, folks. You can see the wings pretty closely closed. Admittedly, because of the way they're built and connected, I find the alignment isn't always perfect, but I think it's pretty rare that you would ever display your X-Wing in the S-foil position. You really like to fold those out for the attack with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed checking out our awesome X-Wing build. Make sure you go out there and build one yourself if you can. And just happy May the 4th and happy building.